Hello everyone, welcome to YData Fabric. In this video today, I'll be showing you how you can create your database in our data catalog, as well as how you can streamline the process of creating a synthetic version of your database in our platform. To start with, we need to create a connector to our storage. It can be, for example, MySQL, Oracle, a Postgres. For that purpose, I just need to provide a username, a password, host, database, and schema. This will allow me to create a connector. In this case, I already have two here created that will give me the access to the data itself. For that, I need to create a data set. um, for example, I can select all the tables from my schema, or the schema it's already here available. So I can select if I want the full schema, or for example, if I just want one of the tables, or even if I want a set of tables, or in case this is something I'm not looking into, I can create as well a query from a join or review from the database. Of course, for this particular use case, and because I want to streamline my the synthetic data generation of my database, um, I'm going to select the full schema. I can provide the description and tag and create the data set. As soon as this is available, I can right away have access to the full schema and the information around primary and foreign keys, but I can also have a very detailed overview per table on how my data looks like. This also gives me some perspective on how my schema looks, but also the quality of my data, of my database. This provides me better insights for improved data management, as well as some clarity on the quality of my database. As soon as everything is okay, I can also check for PII, for example, um, or just change the data types associated with the data set. As soon as everything is okay, and for example, I want to start my process of synthesis, I can just click in Exploring Labs, copy this code snippet, and this allow me to create my synthetic data generation process from the labs. The labs are code environments, and in this case, the table database synthesis is available through code. I can just create my code environment as a Jupyter Lab, a VS Code, or H2O Flow. For this particular use case, I have already my Jupyter Lab created, as you can see here. So let's jump into it and see how I have created and streamlined my process of creating a synthetic database from my available data. After opening my lab, I can see this is a regular Jupyter Lab environment. And because my process for the synthetic data generation is mainly composed by two steps, I have decided to divide it into two different notebooks. The first one is responsible to read my data. For example, this is where I have pasted the code snippet that I've just copied. I can afterwards select, have a good idea of the overview, and I can do profile per table. As the second step, I can generate synthetic data, and that's my goal. Here, my data is already read. I can, for example, configure some properties of my database. For example, I have one of the tables that is time series. For that reason, I have defined the sort by. But for example, this can also be done through the UI as well. Because I do have PII data, I also want to have it anonymized. For example, for this case, for the first and last name, I have decided to go with dummy values from our anonymizer, but I could use regex as well. And because I do have at the level of the loan database table, some specific values that should follow business expectations and business rules, which are the amount and the interest amount. I have defined through code simple Python functions that allow me to ensure that my synthetic data generation will comply with those rules. Specifically, then, I have just provided those inputs to my database multi-table synthesizer. So the anonymization, the calculated features, the data set, and the metadata. And this allowed me to generate a synthetic sample of my database. Of course, I can just synthesize or generate a portion of my database. I can augment my database. All of that is possible as soon as the training is completed. Here you can have a look and feel on how the database looks like. Um, but I also want to have a taste on whether something very important as referential integrity is kept. For that reason, I can just compare the schemas of the both databases, the original and the synthetic, and this will give me right away a report in terms of referential integrity and whether the keys and the way the relations of between the tables is respected. Of course, all of this afterwards, after the generation, I want to have this written to a new database to be shared with the new team, and that's exactly what you can see in this notebook. All of this can be joined together in the definition of a pipeline. To define my pipeline, I just need to drag and drop my notebooks. For example, I can open the properties. In this case, I want to use the synthesizer. So I'm going with YData GPU. I can define the GPU and memory for each and every step, which is very flexible in the case I just want to do some cost optimization. Afterwards, you are able to connect each and every step and this will allow you to have your process streamlined and orchestrated. For that, I just need to save my pipeline. Of course, I have it already created, and afterwards, I just need to have it run, and this will create my pipeline in the UI. And that's exactly where we are going now. So, for example, getting back to my pipelines, in the UI, I can open the pipeline definition. Here you can see is this two steps that we have created inside the labs. And here I have a run that have already successfully finished. As you can see, we have, of course, both steps run successfully. And for each and every step, I can have an idea on how did the step went. So, for example, here I can have a preview of my data. Here, this is the transactionals table. I can have a profile of my table so I can have a better understanding on how the data looks like as well as quality. Um, and for example, in the database synthesis step, I am also checking here, for example, what was the volume of data that was synthesized, how many tables were outputted by the synthesis process. So for example, we can confirm that the 9 tables were generated, how many how many columns and how many rows per table were generated. I can also do a compare, for example, just to see how the quality of my synthetic data looks like for this table. This is the transactional table. So as you can see, the quality is quite good, even though this is the table synthesis as a whole. And well, this process, let's say that I wanted it to run in multiple occasions or have it recurrently, I can do that as well. Can just create the run, choose my pipeline choose the database synthesis, give it a name, Perca database recurrency, choose an experiment, which goes for the database synthesis, and I can set the recurrency to a different type of period. For example, I can define a start and end date, and this will allow me to create this database and to run it, for example, every month, once per month, for the next 10 months, for example. Just set start, and this will give me active recurrent run. I hope you have enjoyed and thank you.